Weapons takes down everything at the box office. Ryan Reynolds wants to be included in Avengers. And The Office spin-off The Paper gets a full trailer for the new show. All that and more coming up right after this. Welcome to Multiverse News, your source for information about all your favorite fictional universes. My name's Matthew Kerr, and with me... Kerr? That was not my name. I messed my own name up. Starting
This is pretty foreboding if you're already, messing up your own name.
It's supposed to be a short night.
Yeah, good thing it's a short script tonight, because I'm apparently going to slow it down. I'm Matthew Carroll, and with me today on the panel is Jay Sisson. What's happening, buddy?
Hey, I'm so happy to be back. I've missed quite a lot over the last few weeks, and I've felt it. I've felt pretty absent from Multiverse News, but obviously kept up with every episode. I'm a listener when I'm not here, and but I'm glad to be back in the chair.
Yeah, it's a great listen. Every time I'm not here, I listen to. It's like it's not just the I gotta keep up. It's like I enjoy it every time. Jay Scotty St. Clair, what's happening, bud?
Hey, I was tempted to help you pad the runtime, but then I remembered Alien Earth premieres tonight, so let's get through this thing. I want to watch.
Yes. 30 minutes. We got 30 minutes. And Haley Hobbs, welcome.
I'm more concerned about what Taylor Swift is saying on the New Heights podcast, but that's okay. I can watch it tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
we've all got other places to be. Is the point?
Is it a spoiler? Is it a spoiler that announcement was made already? Or are you waiting to hear it on the?
No, okay. She only announced what announcement? I was cleaning, so I don't know what they've done.
Okay, I just saw a reel. I don't know much.
She announced the name of the album last night.
Oh, okay. So Taylor Swift's got a new album coming. That's our first story. What do you think, Haley?
We'll see. Exciting.
I mean, we covered a lot of Swift news last year. I feel
like she had the Eras Tour movie in theaters and was raking in that box office, and people were mad about it sometimes in the comments, and we were just like, you know what? I don't have a Taylor Swift lyric that fast, but we were like, leave us alone. There you go. Thank you. Leave us alone. We got stuff to talk about. You can be here or not.
All right. Well, we always like to throw a 5-star review up top. We have a very kind one from B. Kef. I have been listening to the Multiverse News podcast since you guys started back in 2023, and it has become a weekly staple in my life. I try to catch it live, but most of the time I listen to the audio after, and it keeps my work commutes fun and enjoyable. Matt, Haley, Scotty, and Jay will make you laugh so hard, and maybe you'll even pick up on some of the inside jokes. My favorite part is how punny Scotty is with the occasional dad joke. Love you guys, and I look forward to listening for many years in the future.
Many years.
It's very nice.
Pressure.
Yeah.
I often think of that person that says they run out of their shower to turn it off before.
I think about that every time he says it now. Like I picture them running out being like, oh my God, I gotta pause it.
I wish I remembered her name, but I cannot remember her name.
It's so wild.
Deborah.
It's funnier that way.
I love it.
Yeah. But thank you, BKef.
Yeah, it's super sweet. I always read the script and do like some edits, mostly just to like fit my voice, because I have weird things in the script where I'm like, oh, if you put a clause last, I always read it weird, so I always move the clause to the front, whatever, stuff like that. So I'm always like changing it, just words here and there that don't fall out of my tongue easily, and I almost change the words occasionally. Says a dad joke, like not thinking because I was reading the script and it was in there and I was like, occasionally is not the right word.
Verbatim. We are quoting this user.
It's way more than occasional on those dad jokes.
Yeah. I got a brand I got to upkeep,
That's right.
Hey, we got the dad jokes, the inside jokes. We have a deep lore with Multiverse News. And this is kind of like the Narnia thing, like, don't recite the deep magic to me. I was there when it was written. This guy was there when it was written, like he experienced it.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
An OG.
All right. Well, thank you, BKef. All right. Well, let's get into our first story. An original film beat out a sequel this weekend with Zach Cregger's new horror film Weapons starting its box office run by bringing in $71.8 million globally, while Disney's Freakier Friday would have liked to have switched places with it, opening to only $43.8 million globally. The Bob Odenkirk-led Nobody 2 will release this next week and is expected to open to a modest $10 million domestically. After a massive July, are we afraid of these numbers, or are they just freaky enough?
Oh, they're freaky, all right, but not in the way that you're thinking. I have been very, very excited to gush about Weapons. I've seen it twice now. I saw it Thursday night. I had to go back and see it again on Saturday. And at first blush, I was pretty confident that it was my second favorite movie of the film of the year so far, behind Sinners. Now that I've had the chance to dwell on it, ruminate on it a little bit, I'm not as confident. I think it might be taking the summit from Sinners. It's just, it's been a while since I've really been taken with a movie like this, and it's just worked its way into my brain. I think it's, avoiding spoilers, it's really, really like lends itself to interpretation and analysis and dissection and just that water cooler talk that we all, come to podcasts like this for. So I am excited for more people to see it so that we can talk some spoilers and whatnot. But, that being said, even with the word of mouth being so strong for Weapons, like there was a point in time where like the marketing was touting like, hey, it's got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes amongst this many reviewers. And it was pretty, significant, substantial at that point in time. But I would have, even with the positive word of mouth, I would have put my money on Freakier Friday taking the top spot, just with the legacy, the built-in fandom there. So I did not see Freakier Friday. I have nothing against Freakier Friday, but this was just a really big win for Weapons. And it was made on a budget of $38 million. So raking in over $80 million worldwide, it's already profitable within the first weekend. So, we don't need to compare it to the superhero genre because, again, it's kind of like comparing apples and oranges. Yes, they're both fruits, but they're very different. I do think, superhero movies could learn something from budgets like these. We got to rein those budgets in a little bit. The other thing I just have to consider is the fact that, we had Josh Brolin and Julia Garner in this thing, but there was a point in time where Pedro was attached to this thing. So it's just kind of funny to me to consider there was a possibility that we would have had like back-to-back weekends where Pedro and Julia Garner were taking the top spot at the box office there. So if it's not obvious to you, I'm highly, highly recommending Weapons. Get out there and see it. And this is just a good time to be a fan of the theater experience for me, even though the numbers aren't really where we want them to be for the summer overall. I was just like thinking back, like I can't remember the last time I didn't have an excuse to go to the theater between like Together, Naked Gun, looking at Nobody 2 next weekend. It's just like, I don't get me wrong, I love going to the movies, but every now and then I'm just like, can I have a weekend off, please?
You can at any point. You don't have to watch all the movies, Scotty.
I know.
You don't have to.
He's got that AMC A-lister. He'll feel so guilty if he doesn't go.
I do.
He'll be like,
I really do.
Just wasting money.
Yeah.
The horror run of this year has been really impressive. Like you think about Weapons, and not just horror, but the Warner Brothers horror run of this year. You've Sinners, Final Destination Bloodlines, and now Weapons. Like these are movies that had really big box offices. They were really well received. And they turned a profit almost immediately with not a ton of marketing. Like there was not a huge marketing budget for particularly Weapons. And the word of mouth, though, really drove this to a really strong opening weekend. And even now we're sitting here talking about it and people are in the comments on YouTube being like, I guess I need to go see it. I guess I need to go see it. Like a lot of people are having that conversation right now about that. And so horror is having a moment at the theater. The budgets are low. You won't, when you compare the global box office with like a superhero movie, for instance, like Fantastic Four or Superman, you might look at it and take away and say, well, clearly this genre is more, successful at the box office than horror. But then, you look at those budgets and marketing budgets and you're like, actually, they're really not. Because Fantastic Four and Superman they're probably going to end their, you guys talked about it a lot last week with their drop, but Fantastic Four had another pretty steep drop this weekend. So it's had two very steep drops in a row. It's probably, now we're having conversations about, is it going to break 500 million? Like we were talking about at the beginning of the year, could it break 700? Could it break 800? Like, it probably will break 500. I think it's at like 434 or something right now, but it's not going to break it by much. And again, 500 million, good box office. But when you look at the budget being probably over 200, and then you're looking at the marketing, that's not what you want to see if you're Disney, right? So I think it's an interesting conversation about where we're at. But I think we're seeing horror really have a day at the box office. And I think once we start to get to award season, I think you're going to see people like Zach Cregger. I think you're going to see people like Ryan Coogler be brought into the conversation for these movies that they put out this year.
I think you'll see Ryan Coogler for sure.
Yeah.
Just because horror gets such the shaft at stuff like that. So, not saying it should. We'll speak for Ashley and Bill's show and say that it deserves more recognition than it gets. But yeah, definitely Ryan Coogler. I haven't gone to see any movies since Fantastic Four, so I can't speak on any of these. But I think Freakier Friday should have been delivered earlier in the summer. I think it missed the kid crowd and the millennial with their kid crowd by just a couple of weeks.
Yeah. You could definitely see like parents showing their kid the original and then going to see this one, and that probably didn't happen because the summer has ended.
We'll watch it on Disney Plus when it comes out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I also think it's just, it's not, I don't know that it's a property people are clamoring for a sequel. I think it was neat. They got people back for it, and like, I like a legacy sequel, but it's not, while it is much beloved, like the, I don't know that, I just don't think people are clamoring for it the way that a lot of sequels are, that and have a lot of built-in audience. The type of audience that looks for sequels. It's like, I feel like it's like kids and geeks are the ones that are like clamming for sequels. Kind of like that, like, I don't know, this genre of sort of like comedies, kid comedies. They're this old. I don't know that there's a lot of people waiting for it. I'm really impressed with how well Weapons did. I did not expect that either. And I saw some trailers for it that I was really excited. And then the last trailer I saw for it, I felt like it showed too much and I kind of got turned off. So I'm glad to hear that there's a lot to it and it's a good movie. Because I did want to see it.
I'm actually really glad you brought the marketing up, because I remember being on record thinking, I was like, I think I said exactly what you said. I think they're giving too much away with these trailers, and I thought I had the movie pieced together, but that is where the marketing is just genius. I did not. And Zach Cregger's previous effort, Barbarian, again, avoiding spoilers for that, it's all about the twist of that movie, and this movie was able to do something unexpected. It wasn't a twist like that, but it's still, Zach Cregger has just proven himself as a filmmaker that is able to deliver on the unexpected. So that really, really excites me. But I meant to mention it when I was doing my initial take there, but Jay and you and I were just talking about how we saw the headline that apparently New Line is like gunning to get like a prequel made for this movie already. So, wow. I take that with a grain of salt, because on the one hand, it's like, can't we just enjoy this thing, have this thing, let it be singular and great? But of course not. We got to milk everything for what it's worth. And again, it'll all come down to the execution. This is a world, and these are characters that I would be interested to learn more about. But at what cost? Like, don't taint the legacy here. Even though it's just starting.
Gotta milk everything, and sometimes the milk is not as good as the udder. I don't know. This broke down. I don't like it.
Yeah, you were building that plane as you were flying it.
Yeah, the analogy, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. All right, Ryan Reynolds posted an image of the Avengers logo with a red anarchy symbol spray painted over it on Instagram this morning, which fans are taking as a tease that he will be in next year's Avengers Doomsday. The rumors are that the next list of cast members in the film is also ridiculously long, so it seems like Ryan Reynolds is getting a jump on the announcement. Or is he just the king of wishful thinking?
That is also deep multiverse news lore right there. That song. Ryan Reynolds. Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Was that live or was that on air or off air?
I think it was an off-air joke we were having, but I definitely remember it.
I don't think I remember it.
I didn't either. It's just been on my mind.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds. It's always an interesting trying to piece together what he's doing and the reasons why he's doing it, because I saw the rumor from, I think it originated with Jeff Snyder, about Marvel is going to release another cast announcement in late August, and it's going to be really long, and it's going to be for Doomsday. I didn't put it in our news doc as like a feature thing because I just didn't really 100% buy it, to be honest with you. Like, I kind of looked at it and I thought, okay, well, why would they do a second cast announcement? Like, what are you going to do? Like, do the chair thing again? Like, I don't know. They're shooting it as they go. They're writing the script as they go. You're talking about immense talent that you have to bring over to a set which has been, mostly closed off, but is still being shot in a place where there's going to be leaks. There's going to be people in location, doing these shots and across different places and flown in and flown out. Like, it's a very active set that we got going on here. So when you see a list and you're like, oh, every single Disney Plus character and every single character that's ever been on screen is going to be in this movie, that just makes me kind of doubt a little bit that that's the plan. So again, if it happens, we'll talk about it. But I saw that, and then I saw the Ryan Reynolds thing, and I thought back to when he first made that video. I don't know if you guys remember, like, it was, I don't even know if we had this show when he did the video. Like, it was right around the time we started the show where he appeared on camera with Hugh Jackman, and it was like in a living room, and he just like brought him in off screen, and they kind of, and it was like this big, like, oh my gosh, they're together and they're going to do the Wolverine and Deadpool thing. And then there was this conversation that started leaking out over the next couple months about, did Ryan Reynolds have the green light to actually do that? Or did he do it to sort of force the conversation that he should get to make a Deadpool and Wolverine movie, which he ultimately did, and it was a huge success, and we know the rest of the story. But I thought back to that, and I thought back to, was he greenlit to do this? Like, did Kevin Feige say, hey, look, we got a cast announcement coming up. We want you to drum up support. Put this symbol that people will obviously take as you're in Doomsday, stick it out there on your social media page. Or did Ryan Reynolds just do it? You know what I mean? Like, Ryan Reynolds, like, you know what, I'd love to be in an Avengers movie. Like, I'm going to start the conversation that I should be in an Avengers movie, So by the time we get to Doomsday and Secret Wars, will we see Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman? I got to think we will, especially with the plus $1 billion that Deadpool and Wolverine did. Like, I got to think those guys are showing up at some point. But again, I think it's really interesting here as to like what the play is. And when we look back here in a couple weeks and we're on the other side of this, like, will this be a precursor to something, or will it just be this weird blip on the radar because Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds?
I heard about the story about there being a part 2 announcement coming. I thought it was always a part 1. I may be like making that up in my brain, but I really...
Somebody commented, I think it was like somebody commented, RDJ, like, is there going to be more? Yeah. And then like RDJ commented on it, and he was like, there's always room for more. Or something. Like, there was a little bit of like, the eye emoji thing. Like, there's a lot of that sort of energy around it. So, yeah, we just don't know. Yeah. I
just remembered it. I don't know, somewhere in there, someone saying, like, one of the people putting it out saying it was a part 1, not the final cast. Because I remember when we talked on MCU Cast about it, that being the case. But maybe I'm making that up completely, or maybe I just heard it from a bad source. But so I believed that there's a cast announcement coming. I think we'll obviously get more cast announcements because I don't think they're done. But I don't believe any of the rumors about who it is. Like, it could be anybody. I do think. I don't know if Deadpool makes sense for Doomsday, but Deadpool is absolutely going to be in Secret Wars. Like, there will be at least a Deadpool sequence, if not like him as a main character running around doing things. Like, he's going to be there, and I'm sure Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Like, Hugh Jackman, as long as he's been Wolverine, he hasn't been able to interact with the Avengers. Like, he's going to take that opportunity, So I do think, I don't know, I guess I do buy the cast announcement for whatever reason, but I don't know who's going to be there. Like, yeah, the idea of all the ones people are naming, like, I think people are just guessing at this point.
Yeah.
I spent a fair amount of time looking at this image because I used it for, some of the graphics on the show. And what became apparent to me, like, throwing some filters on it and changing some of the lighting, is like, it's actually a t-shirt. He took a photo of an Avengers t-shirt and then took like a red marker or something like that and put the Anarchy logo on that. So it does very much seem to me like it's something he probably did on his own. And now, does he really do anything on his own? Probably not. It probably gets run through some kind of PR channel just to say, like, what kind of impact is this going to have? And even if it's not under Disney's blessing, like, what would the fallout of that be? And somebody gives him the go ahead on that, right? But Jay, you took me on a little bit of a stroll down memory lane with what you were talking about with Deadpool and Wolverine and some of the things he pulled there. I went all the way back to, the original Deadpool, like when he released that test footage that he and Tim Miller shot and basically got Deadpool, or R-rated Deadpool movie greenlit that way. So, I really don't know. I don't know which one it is. I do suspect it could be him just shooting his shot and trying to say, like, hey, your move, holy man. What are you going to do? Because, like you said, Deadpool and Wolverine made $1 billion. The last few Marvel movies haven't even gotten close to sniffing that, and Disney wants that $1 billion, especially with the budget on this thing. So I do hone in on the Anarchy logo, though, and I'm like, what exactly does that, or symbol rather than logo, what does that actually mean? And does that mean that he's in opposition to the Avengers, or is it an allusion to the usual irreverence that he brings? Or I kind of thought, like, I've heard some rumors and speculations, not to get too into it, but we've heard that Doom thinks that he's the hero of his own story, which the best villains always do. But I've heard some speculation that there might actually be a faction of Avengers that side with Doom, and that, like, he leads his own little crew here. So what if Deadpool is just this one that's like, oh, these Avengers have it wrong. Here's Deadpool to bring the anarchy and help everybody see the light of day. Yeah, could be a possibility.
A third option is that it's him being like, I know what this is going to do. I'm doing this on my own. And even though Avengers has this, like, media blackout, like, I'm just going to put this out anyway. And I am the anarchy. Ryan Reynolds is the anarchy.
Just make sure you sign up for Mint Mobile before you cause anarchy.
That's right.
He could be, I mean, we don't know, I don't think. We didn't ever talk about, like, he probably has some multi-year contract with Disney because isn't his soccer show on Hulu, so that's under Disney. So, I mean, he's all wrapped up with them. So at this point, him doing something rogue doesn't make any sense to me anymore because he's there, right? He got the door with Disney. He's gotten what he wanted probably. And for the Deadpool stuff, deserved. And so I think it's probably, to me, the read I had on it was like, Deadpool always feels like he's on the outside. This is him being like, I'm on the outside of this, like playing into the character type thing. Like, that's how I viewed it. And I thought it was kind of funny. It would be interesting. We thought maybe Deadpool and Wolverine would be him killing the Marvel Universe or killing the Fox Universe, and he didn't really do that. So it'd be kind of funny if he was just like Doom's mercenary and he was out just killing all of these. Then he's killing the Fox Universe. Like, I don't know. I could see him being
we got to get rid of those guys somehow. I mean, we got to dump them somewhere.
Yeah.
I can see it now. So you're telling me if I do what you say, you will tell me why Thor is crying. So that's the whole bit between me and Doom.
That was pretty close.
Well, it's so funny. We had so much speculation about what Deadpool and Wolverine was going to be, and it was so based on the idea that Deadpool was leaving the Fox universe to come to ours, and that didn't happen. And not only did it not happen, he brought the whole plot of the movie is him bringing a new Hugh Jackman into their universe so that it can sustain itself. Like, the whole stakes of the movie is saving the Fox universe, which is so different than what we all thought going into that movie. It's kind of wild. And I mean, I guess it sets us up for Secret Wars and all that stuff, but like, it's wild that he saved it just so, I'm assuming it's going to go away. Like, it's got to.
He saved it just for it to be killed.
Yeah.
Kind of just funny and very Deadpool.
But maybe we're wrong again. Maybe Secret Wars is not going to do that, and the Fox universe will just ride off into the sunset, and we'll never hear from it again, but it'll still exist, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe.
All right. Peacock released our first extended look at The Paper, a new mockumentary series spun off from The Office and made by Greg Daniels and Michael Koman. The trailer gives us a glimpse into several of the characters' personalities, and we see an old favorite, Oscar Martinez, who is not into being filmed again. The show is headlined by Domhnall Gleeson, who plays an editor brought in to save a Toledo newspaper. Who's ready to return to the world of The Office?
I am. This trailer kind of really sold me. I mean, I love The Office, and then I also love Parks and Rec. And when they spun Parks and Rec off, it was supposed to be like The Office, and the first season is, and it didn't take. Like, it wasn't very. It's good in retrospect after you watch all of it, and then you watch the season one, and you're like, it's fine. But they went a different direction with Parks and Rec. They made Leslie Knope not like Michael Scott, and they're doing the same thing with the paper. There's a Michael Scott-esque character, it appears, in this office, but Domhnall Gleeson, like, I thought, oh, he's gonna be the funny guy, he's gonna be whatever, and he's not. He's the straight guy, and he's here to do business, and he's surrounded by these incompetent newspaper staffers. And so it just made me laugh. Like, he's like, what can everybody do? What can you write? And one guy's like, I tweet, and he's like, that's nothing. What else you got? Like, you know, it's like, it's very funny to me, especially with my background. And so I think it kind of looks like a mashup of The Office and Parks and Rec, where it's got this little more serious tone, but it's also got Oscar being like, get out of here, I don't want to be filmed anymore, and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to the paper. I think it'll be a fun new entry to a universe that's been gone for a while.
Yeah. Just, I'm going to completely second what you said, because that was basically what I was going to say, which is it feels more like Leslie Knope than it feels like Michael Scott. Like, it just feels like they're going that direction, which The Office without Michael Scott at the helm, as we saw in the last season, is just not the same. Like, the whole point of that show is like, you're under this weird dictator who's like running half of your life, and he's a complete idiot. And then how do you deal with that? And how do you thrive in life with just like this weird guy puppet mastering your life and making decisions that affect you, but you have no control? It's that thing of having a bad boss, you know, maybe nice guy at times, but bad boss. And, this does not seem like that at all. It seems like it's going to, which I talked about when we first heard about the show. Like, I think this show is probably going to have more of a heart to it just because of the content. Like, selling paper is not to say paper salesman. Paper salesman is a job. Often journalist is like really a calling for people. You know what I mean? Not that sales can't be a calling, but like, journalism is something we are losing in our country, and like, especially small town papers. Like, this is something that people really care about. So finding that balance feels more right to me, that this character is more Leslie Knope-ish, and I love Parks and Rec, so I'm all on board with that.
Well, and that was a cool angle of The Office when it first started, is that they were selling paper, but the world was not using paper anymore. The world was going online. It's kind of a time capsule type show, like, especially those early seasons when you watch, and the technology is a little more outdated than you remember, like on those early seasons. But they were moving online, and schools were moving online, and all these clients were dropping them because they were like, well, we do everything on a computer now. We don't need the paper that we used to need. And so it had that angle, and that's what kind of made it interesting, because everybody on the staff sort of knew that they were going down, and it was like, you could either like approach that with humor, or you could approach that with, like, you know, if you had a Michael Scott way of approaching it, or like a Dwight or a Jim way of approaching it. It was very different. It made the show interesting, and the subplots were cool because you had this backdrop, and this has a similar capacity to carry that sort of water again, where, you know, you've got a thing that is kind of becoming a dinosaur. These like small town papers, it's so hard to keep them alive, like in the age of digital media and ads and clickbait and social media and all this type of stuff. And so you've got that as the backdrop. So it's new enough, it's separate enough. We're not going back to the Dunder Mifflin building. We're not bringing back half the characters. We're still in the same universe. We've got that like Oscar connection, but we're carving out this totally new thing that feels kind of updated for the time. So that gets me more excited. You tell me they're making a follow-up to The Office, like I'm immediately kind of like, I don't think, I'm seeing that with skepticism immediately. But seeing this and seeing, all right, I see what they're doing here. They're doing their own thing. They're setting it apart enough. They can bring in some cameos if they want, but that's not the point. It's a totally new set of characters. It's a totally new stakes, like totally new world that we're talking about here. That gets me a lot more interested. So I was down with this trailer, and I watched every episode of The Office. I watched what was on. You know, it's a pretty important show to me. So I mean, I'm feeling in about it, which gets me excited for it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just to respond to something you said, I really that the Office never stops that theme of the dying newspaper company or the paper company. Like, its early seasons, it's about the technology change, but then it becomes about like branch closers because of the technology change, and then it becomes corporate takeovers and like all this, and it's always about the paper company is just this, like I said, like Michael Scott is the little dictator, but like their office is also just being thrown, like blown by the wind wherever they want it to go. And another thing, I think they've got to tackle AI in this newspaper show too.
Will.
Like
Sure
like the fact that they're going to be writing stuff and it's not going to get the clicks because it's getting taken by AI, all their reporting, you know?
Or I can see it now. Somebody writes an article and they write it legitimately, but everybody accuses them of being AI. Like they run it through reverse
they use
systems,
M dashes.
and it's just like, yeah, you're that terrible a writer that you're just like, it reeks of AI, even though it's not. I3 also felt the kind of the marriage between The Office and Parks and Rec, and I think you all spoke on it pretty well. So I'll hone in on even like the musical cue that we got there. Like it really did feel like the perfect marriage between the iconic Office theme with the Parks and Rec theme, at least to me. So that being said, I did recognize a couple of the players here. Obviously, Domhnall Gleeson, Oscar Nunez from the previous iteration there, but I also recognized Chelsea Frey, who seems to be maybe Domhnall Gleeson's maybe romantically, maybe they're friends. It's tough to tell at this point in time, but if it's going to follow, the footsteps that The Office had, I would suspect maybe a romance there. But I recognize her from Animal Control, which the connective tissue to The Office there is that Dan Sterling created Animal Control, and he was a writer on the last couple of seasons of The Office. So again, those were the seasons without Michael Scott, so take that for what it's worth, but he's surprisingly not attached to the paper. So I don't know if people are a little miffed that he went off and did Animal Control, which seems like it's, aping what other shows have done previously. It's an okay show. It's comfort. I don't, it's nothing to write home about, but I like it well enough. But the other individual I recognized was the Michael Scott-esque character you alluded to there. And that's Tim Key. And he's kind of, he feels like, at least based on this trailer, he feels like Michael Scott meets Ricky Gervais's David. I can't remember his last name, but I appreciate that kind of allusion to The Office's roots. Like it did start off as a show in the UK, and arguably the US version has become like the de facto version in people's hearts and minds here. So I appreciated that. And The Ballad of Wallace Island is the movie that I recognized him from. It's a little small slice of life dramedy that came out earlier this year with Carey Mulligan. Highly recommend it if you're looking for something to watch there. But I do have to say, sorry to be, the killer of the mood here, but as much as I liked it, I don't know if it's enough to get me to subscribe to Peacock. If it comes out and the word of mouth is just like crazy, maybe. But I don't know. Peacock is just the one that I'm like, I'm not subscribing to you, Peacock.
You need a few extra emails. Get some free trials. Yeah.
I love Peacock. I actually watch a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah, you got to draw the line somewhere. Paramount Plus, Peacock. Yeah. I got rid of Netflix about a month ago. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
thank you.
All right. Well, that's our main stories. We'll be right back with a great lightning round this week. We've got Dave Bautista joins Highlander, news on the Buffy reboot, Taylor Lautner returns to the world of werewolves, and a whole lot more. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Multiverse News. We got a Patreon, you guys, and that's how we support the show. So you should do it, and Jay Sisson's going to tell you about it.
Well, it's only $4 a month, so we're asking for about $1 an episode. I feel like that's a pretty good starting price point. You get a free sticker that we send to you that says Multiverse News on it, and it's got our logo, and it's purple. So it looks a little different than the logo, it's got a little bit of an edge to it. And you get some benefits over there. Like you get some special polls, and you get to interact with us, and you get your episodes ad-free that you can put straight into your podcast feed. And then every once in a while, we'll do a little talk. We'll kind of talk about maybe a show that we're watching or something like that. And we'll throw that up there as a little extra aside. So supporting us, getting a little bit of extra interaction, getting the sticker. I mean, it's worth your $4. So if you're interested and you have the means and you want to hang out with us over there and support the show, you can go to patreon.com/multiverse newscast.
Sweet. Thank you, Jay. And we were joking on the break that like Jay's going to come back and just bring all the subscribers in. So, make it real.
I got a lot riding on this.
You got a lot riding on
My
this.
My reputation is riding on this.
He's been gone a while. You need to show that you miss Jay by going and subscribing to our Patreon, patreon.com/multiverse newscast. And we want to shout out a patron like we like to do. Thank you so much for being a patron. Safety120. Thank you, Safety120, for being a patron. Our Spotify poll this week was, is your name Rachel? Okay, now I'm understanding what BKF was saying earlier about maybe you'll understand their inside jokes. I feel like our inside jokes are pretty understandable, but this one does feel like
listeners are like, what the hell is this shit?
If you missed last week, you might have no idea why we're asking if their name is Rachel, and I'm not going to say it. So we have 4.8% of you said yes, and 95.2% said no. And I got to say, that's a pretty high.
Those odds.
That's a high Rachel. I like those odds. like we have something riding on there being more Rachels. Is it really? That's a high percentage of Rachels. That's 1 in 20 of our listeners is a Rachel.
Yeah.
I feel like that fits our listener demographic pretty accurately. It's kind of like this panel. 1 in 4 of us is a girl.
Are we equal opportunity employers of the name? Because there's RACHEL and then there's RACHAEL.
Fair.
Matt used a unique spelling, and I went with traditional.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, I used a unique spelling.
I thought you did AEL.
Oh no, I used just EL.
Oh, okay, never mind.
You got a lot of AELs out there too.
Well, maybe that's the question for this week. How many Rachels are there? How many? Yeah,
or Rochelle.
No,
that's different.
Maybe that's. Let's say we're 50-50 men and women. It's just different. All the women are different spellings of Rachel, Raquel, Rochelle, just all of them.
We're going to take this bit, though. I'm going to, we have a merch store. I might go generate a code just for Rachel's. 10% off.
Rachel privilege. Supreme.
Rachel 5 to get 5% off.
Rachel's 5. That's right. Oh, man. And, that
not
sounds
a real
great.
Code, by the way. Don't try to plug that in. It's not going to work.
Maybe we'll... You know how you go to the store and there's those cups or keychains and it'll have everyone's name on it. You just you find your name and they're all in alphabetical order.
I never did either. They never had my name. So annoying.
Really?
They had Haley, but they had it spelled wrong.
It had Haley. I'm sure was all over the place.
Well, I don't know. Based on our market research we just did, maybe we just do Rachel. We have a Multiverse News mug that just has Rachel on it. Just Rachel.
I do have to say, our merch store, our merch store is getting a little more unhinged by the day. We put some.
I might have dropped some.
No, it's great though because the inside jokes are reflected in the merch store, which by the way is Fourth Wall Multiverse Newscast on Fourth Wall. But yeah, I mean, so there's room at the table is what I'm saying. We have a Bloodworm Moon shirt for God's sake.
Right.
I mean,
I never saw the Bloodworm Moon shirt. Oh my gosh, I got to go to our merch store. All right. Well, that sounds great. I will put a link to the merch store in our show notes this week. Please check out the merch store if you want to check out our Rachel mugs.
Talking to you, Rachel's.
we got your Multiverse News shirt, so you got the normal stuff. But if you're feeling crazy,
we advertise the unhinged things, but we also have normal stuff if you're into that.
I was thinking if we could do a collage of famous Rachels on a shirt or something like that. And I was DC is well represented with the Rachels between Rachel Dawson, Rachel Brosnahan being our Lois Lane. Does Marvel have any
real Rachels?
Oh, I thought fictional Rachel. I thought Friends Rachel.
Oh, Rachel Ray. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
The best of both worlds. Okay.
Rachel Weisz is my only teenage crush. I didn't have a lot of celebrity crushes as a child. That wasn't a thing for me, but for some reason Rachel Weisz. So make sure she's represented somewhere.
Oh yeah, we'll do the Mummy era.
Whatever era, I don't care.
Oh yeah,
just Rachel Weisz.
Rachel
through the years, the era store. Let's do it.
We've tied it back to the Taylor Swift thing. I mean, there's so much at work here. This is such a This is we're writing a script here.
This is why the episodes need to be shorter. They would do better.
Now we're getting comments from all the non-Rachels about why we're talking about Rachels and on the non-Swifties, which is definitely like the majority of our audience here.
Listen, the worst way to get us to do something is to tell us to do it. All right. So,
the worst way
you just gotta grit and bear it and just pray that we stop. And that's how it'll stop.
Rachel Sennett is a great call. If you haven't seen Bottoms, see Bottoms. Great comedy.
Sweet. All right, let's dive into the lightning round. This is where I'm going to read a story, and we're all going to shout out our names to claim that story. Whoever buzzes in first will get to respond to that story, and once per lightning round, we get one rebuttal each. Here we go. Dave Bautista is in final negotiations to play the villain in Amazon MGM's remake of the 1980s cult classic Highlander. He will join Henry Cavill and Russell Crowe.
Get out of her way.
I have things to say.
Jumping in there. Jumping in. You wrote it. There's more, Haley. There's more. You're interrupting you. He will join Henry Cavill and Russell Crowe in the action fantasy, which hails from Amazon MGM's United Artists banner and is slated to get a theatrical release.
Haley. So at first blush, I kind of hate this, but when I think more about it, because I watched that godforsaken movie recently, Clancy Brown is the villain in the OG one, and like he takes it so seriously, and I honestly think Dave Bautista would do the same thing, but like for real seriously, and so it could work. It could work. But I still don't know if I love it.
All right. Netflix has given an early season 3 renewal for its live action adaptation of One Piece. The renewal comes several months ahead of season 2's premiere, which is slated for 2026.
Scotty, well, when you have more than 1,000 episodes to pull from, you've got plenty of content to adapt there. But One Piece was very, very well received. I have not watched it, but the word of mouth and the buzz speaks for itself there. So, not all the live action adaptations on Netflix have fared as well. Like Cowboy Bebop comes to mind, a beloved anime that just did not make the translation here. So I'm excited for people that are excited for this. Is it enough for me to resubscribe to Netflix? No, it's not, but enjoy.
You got to earn that money, Netflix.
New badge of honor.
That's right.
The red Netflix badge
of
courage.
What will bring me back? Your move, holy man.
Scotty Watch. Hashtag Scotty Watch.
Rebuttal. Scotty, are you not? You didn't watch Stranger Things? Where are you in Stranger Things?
I've seen the first 2 seasons of Stranger Things.
That's right. I remember you telling me you fell off somewhere. Yeah, that's the thing I feel like I got to stick around for that on Netflix.
Yeah.
The ending. But that's about it, I feel like. I'm not watching a lot of stuff on Netflix these days.
Yeah, I've watched a couple crime documentaries on there that have been pretty good lately. They're in their bag on the true crime documentaries.
Yeah. Right now. My fiance watches like nonstop crime docs and weird crime reenactments. They did a weird one, and I don't know what it was called, so I can't tell you what it's called, but they did a really strange one where it might not have been them. Somebody did a really strange one where there's like these murders and the kids are reenacting the murder, but they're also telling you about it. Weird. They're like, they're breaking the fourth wall as reenactors of the kids who got murdered. It's real weird. So the kids are talking to the camera and trying to solve the case. They're doing like the putting a map up, and they're like, so they dropped our bodies right here, but how does that make it? Was really strange. So I felt like it was
not heard about that.
It felt weird. It didn't feel right to me. It felt very strange.
This is too far.
You're channeling Hank Hill right now. It didn't feel right.
Bobby. New Line is moving forward with a follow-up to its horror hit Final Destination Bloodlines, hiring that movie's co-writer Laurie Evans Taylor to pen the next installment.
Scotty, yeah, this is kind of a no-brainer when your movie comes out and does as well as Final Destination Bloodlines did. You get a sequel, and you bring back the people that were involved. So I think between this and what we discussed about weapons earlier, I think you're going to see a wave of horror coming from New Line, because New Line, once upon a time, they had a lot a lot of claims to fame, most notably the Lord of the Rings movies there. But I think there's an argument to be made that they might have waned a little bit in their popularity and reception in recent years. So if they can have a resurgence as kind of a new house for horror, I'm down for it.
The studio actress Chase Sue Wonders has been cast in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot series. She is believed to be playing a one-off guest starring role as a vampire. Matt, she was great on the studio, as everyone was great on the studio.
Who was she on the studio?
Quinn.
Oh, Quinn.
His
Okay,
assistant.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sense. Okay.
The thing that's kind of interesting, I just have to bring up, is in the original series, there was a vampire named Spike who ended up being like a series regular and going on to play in his own thing and he went on to Angel. He very much became a main character on the show, but he was originally supposed to be a one episode, one-off vampire, and like the fans just loved him so much. And so when I hear one-off vampire, I'm always like, maybe this is another like indelible character, who knows, that we'll all be watching for 6 years or whatever. Yeah. I just love Buffy, and I'm very excited. This becomes more and more real every week. Very cool.
Tiny but they should put Pedro in another vampire cameo.
Oh yeah, they should. Yes, they should.
Just for funds.
Just as small as the other one. Like don't bring him on. Oh, it's Pedro. We got to make a seasoned villain. No, like give him just like talking in a graveyard to Buffy for an episode. Be amazing.
It'd be very funny.
Shrek 5 has been pushed back from its original December 23rd, 2026 date to Wednesday, June 30th, 2027.
Scotty, the Wednesday pool is kind of weird, but other than that, better late than never, I always say.
Hey, when you got an Avengers Doomsday coming down the tracks, man, you better get out of the way.
That's fair.
True. I do think this is generally a bad move, though. It just feels like Shrek 5 would have done great in the summer at Christmas time.
I think summer is better than holiday for. Well, I know Puss in Boots did really well as a holiday release here recently, but I don't know. Shrek just feels like a summertime movie to me. I remember the first like 2 came out like in the summer, whatever.
I can see that.
Like May releases, but
I think like the fantasy element just feels very like fantasy rhymes with Christmas a little bit to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Then also just anytime you can do something that has that legacy appeal and like families go to appeal that kids still watch, families together at Christmas or Thanksgiving, like maybe a Thanksgiving release would have been nice. Something, I don't know. Noah Centineo is now attached to star in John Rambo, a Rambo prequel film from Sisu director Jalmari Helander. Currently, no studio is attached, but Lionsgate is believed to be the frontrunner to land the project.
Jay, I didn't have a Rambo prequel on my bingo card for this year, but I guess it does kind of make sense if you are looking at some of these revivals that we've seen over the last couple years of films, like I'm thinking of like Terminator and like Top Gun and like, you know, some of these like kind of things that were in the theater that people were into, and then decades went by and now we're going to go back to them and try to do something and see if there's any interest there. So I guess it makes sense from that perspective. But at the end of the day, I just don't know. I don't know where my Rambo meter is. You know, I don't know how much interest there really will be in a not just a Rambo, but a Rambo prequel. What are we looking at here? But I think they got the right director, because I was reading about this other movie that's mentioned here.
Sisu?
Oh, Sisu. Yeah, I was reading about it, and apparently it was like an action film that does sort of kind of have the same type of vibe I think you'd want from this.
Yeah, I saw Sisu. It's
okay.
It's pretty good. It's basically just a nonstop onslaught of like a ridiculously overpowered individual standing up against, you know, insurmountable odds. So yeah, the DNA with Rambo is right there. The part that sticks out to me that's kind of conspicuous is that Sylvester Stallone does not seem to be attached in any capacity, not even as an executive producer, at least in this log line, which is a little surprising to me. I don't know if that's because he would want too much control or too much money or what, but a Rambo without Stallone is an interesting thing to contemplate. And the first one was called First Blood, right? So what would this one be called? Like Unspilt Blood?
They're just calling it John Rambo.
The title John Rambo is kind of funny.
I like it. The first Rambo is very serious. Like, it is violent, and it is like him trapping people and doing all this, but it is a lot more serious tone than all the other Rambos.
Yeah.
Well, maybe towards the very end, they start to trail back towards seriousness a little bit as he got older, like Rambo 5 and 6 or whatever it was. But the first Rambo is like really about post-traumatic stress. Like, so the interesting thing about this being a prequel is it's going to be like, I'm assuming it's going to be him in war, like receiving the post-traumatic stress that he later has to deal with while all these, like, he's killing all these police officers who are trying to beat him up because they think he's a hippie and or something. It's a very intense. It's a lot more intense, and I think thematically interesting than all the other Rambos where he's just like a super soldier going in and fighting and hanging from helicopters and stuff. But so I'm interested to see if they'll go back to those origins of First Blood and like really make a cool origin for that movie. Taylor Lautner will play himself in the self-aware new series Taylor Lautner Werewolf Hunter, which is in development at Amazon MGM Studios. Matt, I'll take this one. I think this is super fun and weird. And in one of the articles or whatever, it was talking about how like it's about Taylor Lautner. Is it something about how the plot is going to be, why did Taylor Lautner sort of disappear after the Twilight movies? And it's because he went to fight real werewolves. But like, that's really funny because he just like fell out of the limelight. You know, I don't know if he was trying, maybe he did take a break from acting, or maybe he just like his career didn't go that well. And now he's like, nah, I was fighting werewolves. And I think it's really funny and like could be really good. And like, if it's a self-aware comedy, some of the creators of BoJack Horseman are involved or something like that. So, yeah, seems like it could be a fun, weird lark of a fourth wall breaking sort of self-aware comedy. Very meta.
Will Taylor Lautner put his wife Taylor in this, and will his ex Taylor Swift also make an appearance?
Let's hope so. Let's hope so.
That'd be really funny.
Yeah, and she wins. We've now brought up Taylor Swift 3 times. What did she win, folks?
Me?
Yeah, I don't know. You win when
we're making it up as we go.
Yeah, making up the rules to whatever this game is. Max Minghella, known for his role in Handmaid's Tale, may join the DCU's Clayface, according to Variety. He would join Tom Rhys-Harries and Naomi Ackie.
Are you the one that's seen The Handmaid's Tale?
Yeah.
I have, and sorry, I just didn't think I'd be the guy to talk about it. But yeah, this guy, he plays the eye who is romantically involved with June at some points in The Handmaid's Tale, and he has a very serious manner about him, and he's a very like stoic character in that. And that may just be the show he's on, but we know this is going to be sort of it's seeming like it's going to be like sort of a dreary horror vibe, and so at least that's what I'm picturing. Maybe that's because the Clayface comics I've read or whatever, but like, yeah, I think this feels very dreary horror vibe, and I could totally see him being a character that might be like hated by Clayface or feel slighted by this other guy, and maybe he's I don't know if, I'm assuming Clayface is an actor in this one as he is in the comics, and maybe he's a competing actor who's now getting the work.
Understudy.
Yeah, something like that. Like now that Clayface is going away, maybe this is the guy who gets the work that he was getting before. Like I could totally see that.
Sure.
Yeah. So I could see him playing like a self-important actor who Clayface just wants to bring down, you know? So yeah, this sounds, it sounds good. And I feel like his acting will match the tone I am imagining for the Clayface thing. All right. Well, that is our show today. Let's go around and tell the people where they can find us online. Jay Sisson, what you got going on?
Yeah, you can catch me on Mondays at Commute the Podcast. So if you've never subscribed over there, please do that.
Yeah. And J. Scotty St. Clair?
Coming up on Always Watching, look forward to coverage for Alien Earth, as well as Peacemaker just around the corner. So good times.
I'm very excited for Alien Earth. We'll be recording on that tomorrow, I think, and very, very pumped for that. And Haley Hobbs.
Brian and I are in our review and comparison era. We did Superman, and we agreed to disagree mostly about the movie, and that's okay. And then Ashley and I are about to finish season 1 of our Outlander rewatch, and if you know, you know, and we're going to knock those last 2 episodes out together because it's harsh. And then we're excited to go to Paris in season 2, so check that out on Always Watching.
Sweet. Well, yeah. Definitely go subscribe to Always Watching. Sounds like it's going to be a really busy feed with lots of fun Stranded Panda hosts over there bringing you some fun stuff. So we'll be back right here on the Multiverse News feed soon. Check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. We're about to go into an era with not much content, so we're going to be trying to do some fun episodes and come up with some cool ranking episodes and things like that. So come join us over there, and we'll be back very soon right here on Multiverse News. Peace.
You stay classy, Multiverse. And Rachel.
Hey, thanks for listening to Multiverse News, or watching it, or whatever you're doing. You know, eyeballs or ear holes, whichever thing. We do this show every week, and we appreciate you listening. StrandedPanda.com is where you can find all of our podcasts. And thank you for listening. Check us out wherever you get podcasts. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the little bell icon, whatever you have on whatever service you're doing. Rate us, like us. We're really thirsty. That's what I'm saying.